but this is what I find ironic because value being based on scarcity is it's a man-made concept in the material world. But if we're and I'm on a panel with a bunch of religious men, I would think that
that doesn't make sense. Good sir.
No. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this.
But it doesn't make sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. So what I'm saying is that if there's a small amount of something, right? Check this out. Let's say this is the last iPhone on Earth or whatever, or maybe there's two left, right? This would be valuable because it's scarce. Yes.
The classic. Yes.
Right. Exactly. Now, what I'm saying is, why I'm saying it's a man-made concept is because what I'm saying is everything that exists is valuable. You understand what I'm saying? But within the material world, meaning us right here in this material world on Earth or whatever, right? What I'm saying is that we are the ones that says this is valuable because it's scarce. What I'm saying is, as men who believe in God, and God is everywhere, and God is everything, then that means everything is valuable. And so what I'm saying is that if everything is valuable and you have access to everything, right? Then what I'm saying is that your argument of the woman being available to everybody, right, is the same as God being available to everybody. So how is God not less valuable because he's available to everybody?
And I'll tell you why. Because a man-made concept. What if I just say my man-made concept is that sand is valuable?
Right. You could, exactly. and we could all start saying sand is valuable, and just like sex. Sex is this big thing. Sex is this big valuable thing. This is what we as men said is valuable. That's what I'm saying.
But have you paid $1,000 for sand?
Or you could. There's people right. No, I haven't. I haven't. What I'm saying is there's people paying women freaking $1,000 for dirty panties. Right.
I get it.
That's what, because they value that.
Do you think they're high value men?
What's a high value man?
I don't know. Would you consider them a high value man, or would you consider them a simp?
No, I don't use terms as like high value man because everything has value. So what I'm saying is that
you think it's a smart decision?
we as men place value on what we think is valuable. And what I'm saying is everything objectively has value, or it wouldn't exist and wouldn't be here. That's what I'm saying.
Do you think that's a smart decision to pay $1,000 for dirty panties?
You say, what do you mean by smart?
Well, intelligent, like a good decision.
Yeah, I think it's a good decision if that gives the guy pleasure and that's what he wants to spend his money on. Yeah, I think it's a great decision.
Yeah, I don't even know how we can have a debate, to be honest.
No, this is what I'm saying. The reason why it's hard to debate is because when you think inside the box, it's hard to think outside the box. So what I'm saying is that this is what I think. A lot of the okay. Let me ask you this question, because I know you're into polygyny, yes?
I believe that it's included in biblical marriage, yes.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, if the Bible said polygyny was wrong, would you still do it?
No, of course not. I wouldn't sin intentionally.
So basically, that's one of my points. So what I'm saying is that your actions are based on what the book says, not what you want to do.
Well, I believe that God created all this and put it in motion. So yeah, I care what he says about how I live my life.
Right. And so what I'm saying is you're getting the message from God through the book versus getting the message from God through your heart, through understanding your connection to God.
Yeah, the Bible says the heart's deceitful above all things, so it can fool you. Everyone that's listening to this has been tricked by their own heart.
Right. And so what I'm saying is, how do you know you haven't been tricked by the Bible?
Because I know it's the inerrant word of God. God sent me specific messages aligned with certain numbers that he's given me prior to that.
But who told you that?
God told me. No one told me. I wasn't.
But then that means you got it from your heart. That's what I'm saying.
No, I got clear signs from God, brother. I can tell you.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. What was the sign that you got from God that the Bible was right?
It's too many to even go over in a short podcast. Many.
Well, give me an example.
Okay. So when I first became a believer, I saw these numbers on something. There was an expiration date, and this is coming from someone that didn't know the Bible at all. But somehow in my spirit, I knew that the numbers meant something. So I was flipping through my Bible, and I found 3 specific verses that went along with something that God had spoken to me prior to that. So, and there was no way that I could have known it. I didn't know the Bible at all, but somehow I knew the numbers meant something, and I found 3 verses pertaining to the tree of life. But it doesn't matter. It's just too long of a story to try to explain everything. But I'm not saying that you've had an experience like that. Up until the time I was 27, I had never heard God's voice or felt his presence. So I lived like a complete sinner, because I I didn't know if it was real. Now I do.
Mm.
But again, I can't convince you. I can't convince you to believe. But what I would say is that what we started down this topic with, you said, well, why do women's value lower if they have more sexual partners? And you could say it's a social construct and whatever.
It is.
We're all living in the same world. And if you were to go to a woman and you were to propose to her, say, I want to marry you, and then she said, yes, oh my God, I'm so happy, Lucario. And then she found out that you had proposed to every girl that you dated before her, she would not have any respect for you. That's how a man feels when he finds out his woman was fucking everybody that she dated before him, because she was just giving it up to anybody. You were literally given the thing that you were in control of, the commitment. Will you marry me? Here, I'll get married to you. You look like a complete pussy. Right? That in her eyes, because you proposed to every girl. She doesn't feel special because you proposed to her. Just like a guy doesn't feel special that she said yes to having sex with you if she's fucked everybody that she dated before you. Whether you like it or not, we all live in this world. And when a woman inherently doesn't like another woman, she says whore. When a man doesn't like another man or even a woman, they go, you can't get no pussy. They're basically say he's an incel. So it goes back to that. It goes back.
And I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is that everything you're talking about, everything you just said, is based on indoctrination. That's what I'm saying. It's people who don't think for themselves. That's what I'm trying. That's my whole point. What I'm saying. Okay, check this out. Check this out. Remember back in the day when you would have, and for example, like white neighborhoods, and then when black people moved into the white neighborhood, they would say the property value went down. So what did that mean? That means that they looked at the black people as lower value, which caused the property to go down. So what I'm saying is when you guys are saying that a woman's value goes down through sex with a lot of men, what you're essentially saying is that the men, because remember, the men are connected to this entire situation. You're saying that the men's value is low because they came into the situation and made the property, quote unquote, property value go down. You understand what I'm saying? So you're making the woman's value go down by consistent sex. The same way the black people made the value of the property go down by moving into those neighborhoods. What I'm saying is that all of these are social constructs, because just like race is a social construct, they use that social construct to get into people's brains to make them think a certain way. The same thing with sex and relationships. There are certain things that are talked about that are social constructs, like women, if they have all this sex, they can't pair bond. That's red pill social construct that makes you think that her value goes down. That's all I'm saying.
I got to stop you, man. How's race a social construct? I'm sorry, brother. How you come up with that? Look at Rob. My grandfather looks like Rob. My grandfather is 100% white. I could stand outside with Rob and my grandfather, he's dead, in the sun of Qatar. I lived in Qatar 7 years, where it's 51 degrees Celsius. I can stand there all day. I will not sunburn. I know because I've done it. Rob would be fried. That man would be peeling like there's no tomorrow the next day. Race on multiple levels is real. It is not a social construct.
No. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not understanding what I'm saying.
Put me on Rob's age and we go I'm 53, even maybe now I'm 53. And it's not I'm not crapping on Rob, but I bet you I could jump higher than him. There's just certain things about the African American physique that are different than the white American physique. And that's not to say that there's not equal value in the individuals. There could be, depending on outcomes, but race is by no means, ethnicity is by no means a social construct. There are clear and definitive differences between us in terms of ethnicity and whatnot.
No, you're not listening. You're not hearing what I'm saying. I agree with everything you said. What I'm saying is that the concept of race, meaning the concept of you being black and him being white, right? Those were labels that were classified and put on particular people. Before, like back in the day, there was no you're white. Okay, I'm black. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that.
I understand.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So what I'm saying is
to degenerate or denigrate.
Right. Exactly. So what I'm saying is, that type of rhetoric creates certain actions that happen based on that. And so what I'm saying is the same thing. So I don't want to make it a race thing. I'm just going, and what I'm going back to the women and the sex. What I'm saying is it's the same type of thing. So if you have the thought process that, women. No, but okay. So let me ask you this. Let's say.
Let me explain why it's not the same. If you don't.
Okay,
mind.
Go ahead.